Now, China is a lender to the United States government. China and Japan are the number 1 and 2 lenders to the US government. China has been demanding repayment in dollars. It has been reducing its holdings of US debt by hundreds of billions of dollars. The whole world. Economic growth is faster in the East than it is in the West. The G7 and the BRICS had the same total GDP in the year 2020. Now the BRICS have about 3 or 4% more than the G7. Capitalism has always had financial problems. The way the system works produces financial problems. Here in the United States, we have a governmental system that works as follows. On the one hand, you have corporations and the rich. They are a minority, but they provide the money for political parties. The political party, Republican and Democrat, spend an enormous amount of money. They buy time on television. Everything is done by mass media, by social media, and so forth. So for a candidate or a party to win, they need to get a lot of money. And that money comes overwhelmingly from corporations and the rich. And they don't want to be taxed. So what corporations and the rich want from the government is lots of service. They want 800 military bases so that nobody will interfere with exports or imports or all of that. They want the government to help them, to educate workers so that they are productive, to all of that. Prisons, we have an enormous prison population, all of that. Then there are the mass of people, the working class, the employees. They too want services from the government. They want schools, they want hospitals, they want roads to be working, and so forth. And they don't want to pay taxes either. But they're not so powerful. They don't have any money to give the politicians, but they give them votes. And the politicians, once a year, need some votes. So we have the following capitalist system. Politicians, faced with the need to raise money from corporations and the rich, but without the power really to tax them. Because if you tax them, they won't give you the money. They'll give the money to somebody else who's running against you. You'll be out of there within the next year or two, and in will come somebody who plays the game. And likewise, you can't keep putting the taxes on the mass of people because they don't have enough. And they're going to rise up again. That's dangerous. Okay, so you have to provide services, but you can't tax. How do you handle that problem? And the way that capitalists have handled that problem in the West is by borrowing. Okay, if the government has to do all these things, but we dare not raise taxes on corporations and the rich or the mass of people, then we will borrow the money, because that way we can spend it on what people need, but without taxing them. It's just, and they will vote for us and they will give us money. And that's how it works. But the problem is you accumulate an enormous national debt, adding up each year's deficits between what the government spends and what it raises in taxes. The important thing to understand about this, though, which many people don't, is that this is very good for corporations and the rich for as long as it lasts.